One good example is that ZL1 we just bolted to the dyno. It had nothing. It has a 2650 on it. Why would you do that? It's just stupid. Like, you need some kind of cooling mods, and he didn't have anything.
Fellas, you want to talk about this little thing?
Oh yeah.
This is Fuzz's best friend.
This is honestly, this thing was butchered, baby. I don't even know where all the shit is now. I got a lot of pictures I can show you, Steve. You might be able to throw them up on there or something.
Yeah, but, so if you guys missed the last episode, go check it out, or the previous one where Fuzz talked about how this was at a different shop.
Came from another shop, or as I should say, a garage. Tore it apart. That thing was. This motherfucker only had like 400 miles on it.
I was gonna say they're aftermarket pistons too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Some other shop built it. It had a Whipple on it.
Damn, so this thing messed up everything. Bearings,
Yeah,
pistons.
it got hot through there. She got a little warm.
Little. Jesus. I was gonna say that thing looks fresh underneath too. Like that was
Brand new, dude. 300 miles. You should see the Whipple.
Holy
Looks like it came off of a 40,000 mile car. I don't think he actually got the, I don't know if it's a new Whipple or what, but it didn't, we had to send it out to have it rebuilt.
Yeah, that's that garage work, baby. It looked like I did it in my garage when I was 16 years old. Like honestly, like even this is still left over from him. Just shit like that. Just why?
So we took the old meth kit off of this thing because I had it in the lid. That wasn't the problem though. The lines and the wiring for it were atrocious. And I'm like, it was like, yeah.
This right here. These were all. This was spliced in right there, and then
That's a good example of one thing on this car of many.
Yeah, like I mean a lot of shit.
It's had some stuff underneath the dash. It was like all white wires, like for everything. So you didn't know what was what. Nothing was labeled. Like,
I mean,
it's atrocious.
This is the meth kit right here coming through the lid, which. Alec, I think
whatever, but it's not. That wasn't the bad part in my opinion.
But
it had pro meth on it, which they're not bad. But the way the lines and stuff were ran, I wouldn't have put it on my lawnmower. To be honest with you, ran on Miller, everything, baby.
Plus, do you think doing it in the lid to the intake?
I've never seen a benefit of it. So if you put them in here, and like the rotofab or whatever you have for intake, it also atomizes the air going up through the rotors and through the blower, and it'll evaporate somewhat too. So the air becomes dense and makes more power. And honestly, I don't like 4 nozzles, man. You have 8 injectors for a reason. You don't need 4 nozzles of meth going into your motor. And the 2 in the intake are honestly, that's all you really ever need or want, because I have 3 in mine, but that's mine.
It's different.
But
you also don't have a fuel system.
Yeah, well, it's actually one now, but you're gonna get more fuel going in one cylinder than the other. It's not like direct port meth. It's 4 nozzles on the lid, and also what happens is if you get too much meth, it'll go through the intercooler and the fuel will beat up, it'll ball up, not break down properly. Meth spraying down and then going through on the other side, it doesn't atomize like it should. So that's why you don't want to do too much meth on these kind of blower cars. Doing it this way is just, in my opinion, not the proper way. I hope this guy will come back for an ice box too, because this thing's being spun pretty hard. There's no cooling mods on it besides this little Whipple kit that it comes with. When you buy a Whipple kit, it's not bad, but it's made to make 7, 8, 10 pounds of boost maybe with an upper pulley and a stock lower. It's not made to, having a 917 and a 3.0 upper on a Whipple, which is being spun really hard for a Whipple, and having this. Even if you have meth, I get it, but a lot of shops believe, oh yeah, we need meth, no ice box. That is wrong. That is totally wrong, and I'll argue until my head falls off about it. This does have a little quarters expansion tank in it, which helps it out. So, but I have seen plenty of builds that come in here with no expansion tank, nothing. One good example is that ZL1 we just bolted to the dyno. It had nothing. It has a 2650 on it. Why would you do that? It's just stupid. Like, I'm always about making the most power work what you got, and safely, back-to-back pulls. If you got one of these kind of blowers on your car and you're making highway pulls, you know, icebox.
Yep.
And meth.
Yep.
Meth. Dude, at LMP, we love meth. We love meth.
You said you want to show me the trunk?
Yeah, let's see the trunk real quick.
Is this where you keep your meth?
Yeah.
This is where he kept his meth. Yeah, actually. Like, I mean, he made that bracket. Like, you could tell he didn't prep anything. There's shavings from him drilling these holes all right there. I mean, there's still, I vacuumed it out, but there's still a little bit of shit that wouldn't come off. I mean, this was still, the bolt's gone, but it was zip tied right here and through the bolt hole right there. It was just, I mean, like all the holes for the actual pump that was here.
Like missed a few times.
Yeah, he missed twice, but even when he had it screwed in, it was like on a 45-degree angle, just half-ass screwed in there. Just a lot of stuff not tied up. And plus, I mean, he ran all the wiring through the car, and when I looked in the car, I could immediately tell because none of it was put back. Like, it was put back, but I mean, it wasn't. You could, if you were looking for it, you could tell that it wasn't. Everything wasn't there. There was missing clips, all kinds of shit. And here's a broken clip on this piece right here. That's from the inside next to the door. Just little bullshit like that LMP don't do. Damn it, girl.
He doesn't really have Tourette's, that's how he talks. So we got a ZL1 on the dyno. You want to tell me a little about this thing, what you guys did to it?
We changed the upper pulley, put Frankenstein Stage 2 LSA heads on it, ice box,
What was the
catch can too.
Okay.
Didn't have a catch can on it.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, that's
It's a big build for not something like that. And
Yeah.
no ice tank either.
yeah. Dude.
Do you want to explain one of the reasons why you had to do heads on it?
Well, he came in because he wanted to do heads.
Okay.
He didn't know anything that was messed up about it, I should say. We didn't either until we tore it apart. When Cody was loosening the head studs up, they were literally hand tight with like 3/8 ratchet, not tight at all. I'm talking 40 foot-pounds maybe. So the heads were both lifted on both sides.
Definitely.
So thank God he did heads before he had a real problem. Well, this is before he even wanted to do heads. He called me because he went to the track. It was slow as shit. It went 1050 or something, and the 2650 416, that should be at least a second faster. You know, he was explaining to me the build, and I said, well, for starters, you need an icebox. If you go to the track, you need an icebox. You need some kind of cooling mods, and he didn't have anything. He has meth, but it's stupid to do a build like this that, you know, when a blower creates that much heat and only have meth on it. I mean, that's just accident waiting to happen. I mean, we have bolt-on LT4 cars that are going pretty fast because of the cooling. So I like really emphasize on doing cooling mods, heat exchanger, all that good stuff. I mean, it all adds up. You know, it is expensive to do it, but for one, it's safer. It's easier on a bunch of parts. It makes the air more dense, as I was talking about, and it makes more power. There's really no downside to it. I mean, it's a cleaner look, especially when you do it the proper way. When you buy a ZL1 off the showroom floor and have stock cooling mods, that's made for 500 or 550 horsepower, whatever these things made. When you make 850 to the tire and you have stock cooling mods on it, that's stupid. I mean, it's not made for that.
Yeah, these things will pull timing on the track.
Yeah, it's stupid. That's what I think half the problem was. I never looked at a log, but he said it only made 800s before. I'm like, why are you only making that? You know? Yeah. Another thing I noticed, like when you start the car up, it doesn't even sound like it's got a camshaft in it. What people really overlook on stuff is a camshaft. So if you buy a BTR Stage 3, nothing wrong with them. They're good cams for a 6.2 that's a stock bottom end with a stock blower. When you put a BTR Stage 3 in a 416 with a 2650, that is way wrong. And so many people mess up by doing that. Not saying this car has that, but something is small in this thing, I can tell, and it's probably going to make peak power 6,500. You know, we got 2650 cars twisting, street cars twisting 7,000 at least. And the blower's not really being spun hard, so it should really pull up top good. You know, the harder you spin the blower, the harder it is to get it to carry up top. That's the whole issue with stock blowers on the LSAs and LT4s. He's got better heads on it now, which should help it up top for sure. You know, it's just some stuff was missed. Like, why wouldn't you do a catch can? That's like on our stage 1 package. You know, that's like.
Stock stuff should use a catch can.
Dude,
an example, the black one with the oil blower, stock car.
I want to put a catch can on it.
Yeah.
Like, that's only the other thing I'm going to do because it's got oil in the blower. So it just doesn't make any sense that you don't put a catch can on something, but especially this caliber. When you build a motor, the rings are gapped, also looser, which creates more blow-by, which is fine. But you need a catch can. You need to vent it properly. So.
Well, let's see what she does now.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
23% ethanol. So.
Okay, so pretty close to pump gas, not really that much.
I have it fueled up pretty good too. On pretty much 93, so 93 in meth, I should say.
That's pretty damn good. You know, he's gonna be happy with that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, it might break it down. I don't got no ice in it, you know. So.
So we're gonna put some E in it. That was about 20 pounds.
Yeah, it's 20 pounds loose. Pretty good.
What'd you say about the fuel pressure?
It's dropping off.
Yeah.
Definitely 20. It's not dropping off like unsafely. It goes from 80 to 65, so it's not like going crazy. But
Just have to be careful how much E.
yeah, we'll start with 50 and then go from there. Luckily, he's got meth on it, so 50 and meth is pretty equivalent to 45.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was even expecting to make this much. So
I think he was hoping for close to 1,000. So
Was he?
I think he's gonna be happy with the numbers.
oh yeah, it'll make more than that. That's no ice or nothing.
This is 100 something more than it made before. So. So we got a little bit more E in it right now, and you're saying you're having some problems with fuel pressure up high?
Yeah, it's dropping off a pretty good bit. I don't know. I mean, it can make 1,000. I don't know if it's going to with the fuel system that's on it. A car that makes 1,000 wheel should not have an aux pump on it, and it should have like a real fuel system, like duals or triples in the tank. And this doesn't have that, so you know. We'll work with what we have, but it's making decent power, for sure. Big motor, big blower, I mean, it should make 1,000.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was surprised how little it made before, so that's...
Yeah. Stock heads really hold this. I mean, if you can't shove the air through it, you know.
much better. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this thing should be pretty fast.
Yeah.
Hoping to make 1,000, but it didn't. I'm not gonna stand on it though. I mean, I think I'll be happy picking up whatever it made before. I think over 100.
I want to say 140 from before. Honestly, I can't remember what it made before. I can look it up, but it should definitely go faster than 1050.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I mean, I think she's trapped high 140s, maybe 150. I don't know. Depends on there. I think we'll be happy if he gets into the 9s or whatever. I was talking to him a little bit. It's mainly a street car. You don't. Not trying to set records, but I mean, for the money he spent, he should be able to go faster than 1050.
God. Seriously.
The pulley isn't really, the combo isn't super aggressive. It's only a 917 lower.
And plus, it's probably not exactly the cam that you would do with a setup
No.
like this.
So just to put it into like a good example of like a 2650 427, this is a 418, pretty close, that we would do, I would pulley him harder. I'd probably put like a 10 on it for a lower and the same upper, 275 upper or 30 upper, something like that. Well, we've done a couple, quite a few of them now. It make in between 1150 to 1200, and it's 18 pounds boost. This is making 20 and making 980 with less pulley combo. There's no overlap at the camshaft. I can just tell you, I don't even need to see the specs. So with that being said, a lot of people make this. People make right around 1,000 with 20 pounds of boost. I've been talking with Kong about combinations pretty much, really. I was telling him how we do our cams and stuff. He really likes the way we do our cams. You put a real camshaft in something pretty much. I just gave away a little bit of a secret, but when we make 1150 to 1200, and I'm not saying if you put a cam in this, it's gonna pick up to 1150. Pressure and everything else plays into a factor, but if you put a cam in it, it would help it. But 980 is pretty good. I mean, even built 6L90s, 1,000 is all I like to do because it is just a headache. We have one car that cannot keep a transmission together and it makes 1,200, so you'll have fun. Or a lot better than it used to be, I should say.
For sure.